Hi everyone, welcome back and welcome Rosie. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. I'm really excited to get to chat to you today.
Thanks so much for having me, Eliza.
So Rosie is a very special client of ours. Rosie's a registered nurse. She's also the founder and owner of Youthful by Rosie, which is a very successful skin clinic, but also injectables clinic in Melbourne. So Rosie, I know we have clients who probably have a lot of questions for you about your business journey so far, how you've managed to be so successful in your treatments. But I think it would be wonderful if we could just start with a little bit of information about you. Can you tell us a little bit more about you and your beautiful business journey so far?
I can. So thanks, Eliza. As you mentioned, I am a registered nurse. I finished my Bachelor of Nursing back in 2009. I then ended up working in the hospital and community settings for quite a number of years before I followed a bit of a passion into aesthetics by completing a postgraduate certificate in cosmetic nursing in 2014. In 2015, I started working as a cosmetic injector and been doing that, did that for quite a number of years in between having my three daughters. And almost 2 years ago now, I opened up my own clinic in Brighton, Youthful by Rosie. So that's where we are now.
Beautiful. And so being a relatively new clinic, it definitely feels like you're just a textbook example of being able to grow a really loyal client base very quickly. And I know that the Thuzzle and technology has been a big part of that. Could you give us a little bit of information about why you chose the Thuzzle and the Global Beauty Group, and particularly the strategy behind choosing to launch that in the clinic?
Yeah, so I was on the hunt for an energy device that was going to complement my injectable treatments because I wanted to have a more holistic offering, I suppose. I wanted something to suit my demographic. So I was therefore looking for something that was going to be minimal downtime, minimal discomfort, but at the same time achieve really satisfactory results. So I actually got in contact with the Global Beauty Group through an ex-colleague. What sort of sold that over the line over the other treatments is that it had the body element as well. And then I just loved how safe, how easy to use it was, and how much minimal downtime and minimal discomfort was involved.
Yeah, I know we've spoken about this before, but it sounds like that minimal downtime, lack of discomfort is something that really is important to your clients and it keeps them wanting to come back for more.
Yeah, that's right. I think just the area that I'm in, people don't like to have a whole lot of downtime. People are busy. They want to get in, have their treatment, and be good to go by the next day. And I really find with the Thuzzle, they pretty much can. Yeah.
Awesome. So can you give me a little bit of information about how you decided to launch these once you settled on the Thuzzle and you loved the no downtime, little discomfort? How did you go about launching these new clinics, these new treatments in the clinic?
Yeah, so initially I offered a 50% off the first treatment just to sort of get people trialing the machine. I then had it sort of front and center in my clinic. So when all my loyal clientele came in for their regular appointments, it was sort of there. It planted a seed, opened up a discussion about their skin. And it may not have meant that they jumped straight on it then and there, but down the line, they slowly started asking more and more. I also started doing treatments on myself. So clients were able to visibly see the results on me. I also did a lot of face-to-face pieces on my social media talking about the device, the treatment options, how it worked. So they were the main strategies I implemented.
Wonderful. And I know you're someone who is I know getting in front of a camera and filming a video for social media can be quite intimidating. And I think most clinic owners know it's something that they should do, but it's really difficult to actually get up there and do it. That said, I'm such an advocate for this, and I think you've done such a great job at it. If you can give people a video that explains who you are, why you love what you do, why you want to help them achieve their skin goals and transform their skin, and how you're going to do that, those are absolutely the best performing social media ads I have seen clinics run. Can you tell me how you went about coming up with the content for that, and how you, what your strategy to like actually get that content out there?
Yeah, I think that's so right, Eliza. I think people like to see your faces. I know my best, the best posts that I put out there are those the ones that have my face or me talking
And you have
in
a
them.
beautiful face, which helps.
It's not about that. It's more about that authenticity and just seeing that I'm genuine, and I think that comes across, which is why it's so important to get in front of the camera. And it can be, as you mentioned, it can be a bit daunting to start with, but you usually have the opportunity to do a few takes and things like that. So once you've done a couple, they start to feel a bit more comfortable.
So what I'd love to find out from you is any tips and tricks that you have from your experience of launching a new device really successfully for other business owners to help them be successful when launching a new technology.
Yeah, so I think the things that I mentioned already, I think showing your face and talking about the machine and showing how genuinely invested you are. You can certainly offer packages and things to get people through the door initially. But we've also done a number of, because injectables is a big part of our service offering, we've also started to really look at skin holistically and devise some combination packages with our injectable treatments, so that we're looking at things from a skin quality perspective, muscle relaxers. We're looking in ways to volume and enhance the skin, and then we're looking at skin care as well. So we're really trying to look at things holistically, and it's just given us so many more treatment options by having the energy device in combination.
That's so good to hear. And I know you've recently expanded. You've brought a new team member into the clinic.
Correct, yes.
Could you give me a little bit of information on roughly how many treatments you're doing with Thuzzle, which services might be most popular in your clinic, and any kind of idea around the revenue impact that's had on your business?
Yeah, so the biggest one, and probably my favorite treatment, is the resurfacing treatment. It was a huge hit for us over the winter, particularly because it is a little bit more appropriate over the winter, and we could afford to go a little bit higher with our settings. So we did offer the 3 sort of 4 to 6 weekly treatments at a $9.99 price, and that went crazy over the winter, and we saw really beautiful results. So that's probably my favorite of the treatments. We've managed to develop a few more combination packages. We've been doing a lot of under eye treatments, combining 6 weekly treatments, and seeing really beautiful results there as well. So that's another one of my favorites, and it takes about 5 minutes all up for that treatment. So they're some of the favorite standouts at the moment.
Wonderful. And what I would love to get to do for everyone joining us today is show them some of the amazing before and after results that you've been able to achieve.
Fantastic.
Beautiful. So we should have those coming up on screen in just a minute. While those are loading up, can we actually talk a little bit more about how the discomfort and the downtime has affected like the desirability of services? I know it's one of those things that we sort of talked about it earlier in the webinar, consumer trends are really changing, right?
Yeah, so the fact that they can have a treatment that is not inflicting a whole lot of pain, they can come and have it in their lunch break. They can then, within a few hours, quite often, any side effects have sort of settled down. They can get on with their lives, and by the next day it's often, you wouldn't know they've had anything done. So I think that's really appealing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So we have a before and after of yours on the screen at the moment. I love this one. This is so beautiful. I love a before and after. So would you be able to give us a little bit of info, Rosie, on what treatment this is, how many sessions were involved?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is just using our the skin retraction and neocollagenesis mode, and we just did the lower third of the face because that was a particular problem area for this client. We did 6 sessions at a weekly interval and achieved this really beautiful result.
I love it. She must be thrilled.
Now we're looking at the body areas. So we've used here, we used a combination of the vascular activation and lipolysis, and the deep lipolysis mode. Again, 6 weekly treatments. You can see the real improvement in cellulite and skin quality there as well.
We're seeing so much interest in general butt lift treatments as well from the market.
And you do get that lifting effect too, as you can see there. So
yeah,
multiple benefits.
Beautiful result.
Here we have another body treatment. So this is a post-pregnancy abdomen. Again, a little bit of combo of skin retraction and neocollagenesis for the skin tightening, as well as a little bit of vascular activation, a little bit of fat reduction there as well.
Such a beautiful result.
Really good. This is one of our favorite ones. This is what I was talking about with the under eye treatment, a 2-minute treatment under each eye, just using the skin retraction neocollagenesis mode. You can see it's tightened up the skin, but it's also had helped with the swelling, in helping with lymphatic drainage as well. So this client was a personal trainer, would be up really early, would always have that fluid retention in the morning. And as you can see, the results speak for themselves.
Such a beautiful result. I love this one.
Now here's the resurfacing mode. The best thing about this is you get the skin tightening benefits, but at the same time, you're also getting those textural benefits as well. So great for redness, pigmentation, sun damage, fine lines. I think this was only after 1 treatment, but you can see such a huge improvement in the quality, tightness of her skin, but also the texture as well.
How much are you charging for that one?
So that's, we do the $9.99 for the 3 treatments.
Sure.
Yeah. This one's actually myself. I saw how fabulous some of the results were with the resurfacing mode, so I wanted it for myself. I didn't have a huge amount of skin concerns, but you could just, I've said to you before, Liza, I didn't think my skin was dull before, but the biggest thing that I noticed after doing the resurfacing was just the glow of my skin.
So it is, yeah, it just looks luminous. And being in Brighton, you'd have a lot of people who are in that position, who've been taking really good care of their skin, but
I just want that extra level, yeah. So you don't actually have to have specific skin concerns. It just gives you that healthy new cells coming through, just gives you that beautiful glow, that firming, that tightening. So it's a favorite. And that's me as well.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Rosie.
My pleasure.
For joining us. I'm delighted now to welcome up our wonderful demo educator, Emma, who is back to answer some of the questions that we have in the chat. If anyone hasn't entered their questions, there's a Q&A button. Please do feel free to pop any questions you'd like in that Q&A button, and both Emma and Rosie will be hanging around to answer our questions.
Hello. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure.
So our first question tonight, ladies, is from Renee. This is more for you, Emma, I would say, but she's asking about heavily tattooed clients and how we would treat body treatments for them.
Yes. Look, when it comes to having a heavily tattooed client, which, is not overly common, I think, maybe not something you come across.
No, it hasn't been a problem for us. Yeah.
So look, if you do come across that time where you do have a heavily tattooed client, unfortunately, depending on what you're treating and where the tattoos are, we are limited to a certain extent when it comes to this particular treatment and device. But if it is something that you find that you do have a higher demographic of clients that this would be a concern, we do have other devices within the Global Beauty Group where you could in fact perform a body treatment of lipolysis for a client that does have tattoos in that space. So if that's something that you are concerned with, you're welcome to again pop your details in the chat there, and we can get some information sent out to you about some of the other devices that we also have here at the Global Beauty Group.
Wonderful. This one's for you, Rosie. So that male skin tightening treatment around the eyes, amazing result. What are you charging for that particular treatment?
We initially went with the recommended pricing that came through the Global Beauty Group, but when we saw some of the results we were getting, we did pop up our prices a little bit. So we do a $150 per session. Otherwise, for this, they can pay up front and get the 6 weekly sessions for $750. And we do a combination package with an eye cream as well as another option.
And we have another question. What role do you see devices like Thuzzle and other technologies playing in the future of med aesthetics? How do you think people are going to be experiencing treatments in another 5 years?
I think they'll play a huge role, given the versatility of it. I mean, the Thuzzle alone can tighten skin, it can resurface skin, it can treat body areas, you can get fat reduction, cellulite reduction. I think they're going to play a huge role just because of their versatility.
Yeah, we're definitely seeing a bit of a change and a bit of a sway in the industry at the moment as well. You know, we're not just so heavily focused on, you know, the visual components and what other people see, but also how our clients feel as well. And that's something that is definitely starting to become a lot more relevant in this industry as well.
Certainly, skin quality has become a huge priority over having a heap of injectables. But people are just really wanting healthy, glowing skin. So treatments that are going to improve skin quality are going to play a huge role for sure.
Beautiful. If anyone has any other questions, please pop them in the chat now. But I'm going to throw you our final question, ladies. Can you give us a little bit of information around how people feel after they come out of Thuzzle treatments, especially things like the skin resurfacing?
I just feel like people are feeling a lot more confident. I know I've had a few clients here and there who have had things that have made them feel self-conscious. I know I had a lady in her 40s who had a lot of sun damage to her neck and décolletage, sun damage and I suppose a little bit of aging skin, and she never sort of got that out. She'd cover it up. She'd never wear a top that would show it off too much. And after some resurfacing treatments to that area, she started coming into clinic with lower cut tops. And it's just nice. It's really nice to help someone feel a little bit more confident in whatever way.
Yeah, you can definitely see that change in your clients. From what I noticed with from my days back in clinic as well. You would find that someone would come into the clinic and they would be really self-conscious, and they'd come in, with the, especially when coming in for body treatments. That's definitely one of the most daunting experiences for someone coming into a clinic. And I think naturally, as therapists, as nurses, we are naturally empathic people. We always want to make sure our clients are feeling comfortable and happy, and just having that positive attitude towards them as well, explaining how the treatment works, and then being able to see those results. They do start to relax a little bit and feel more confident, more comfortable. And then once that trust is built, initially through a treatment, then they're more comfortable and more confident to take advice from you about moving and progressing into different types of treatments as well. So
Absolutely.
Bringing that person through the door for one treatment opens up avenues for a multitude of treatments in the same place.
Absolutely. I would say that some of my clients that might have been a little bit more hesitant about injectables were often a little bit more open to the treatments using the Thuzzle, and then down the line that just by building that trust and rapport, that has I've managed to convert them into injectables as well. So it can be really handy like that.
Yeah, for sure. It's harder to keep people wanting to do different things than it is to bring them through the door the first time. So kudos to you.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Rosie and Emma, for sharing your insights and answering everyone's questions. And thank you so much for everyone who's joined us for the webinar. If you do have any questions, look, our team will be reaching out just to touch base over the next few days. But if you'd like to, please always feel free to reach out to the Global Beauty Group on 038555 2246 to chat to our team. Have a wonderful evening, everyone.